We play games.
Perdcast.
Poodcast. We pooed.
And
We
cast
pooed
it.
and we just cast it out onto the internet
For the world to see.
everyone and their mamas and their mamas' mamas
And they daddies.
and their daddy's mamas. But they're all mamas. Only the mamas. Mothers be aware.
Mothers be aware.
So, thanks for watching. We're gonna be playing Destiny 2 again because it's a great way to multitask.
Yeah, and
we're not always.
you're
gonna
getting your stuff done. You're playing a game, and it's stuff you were going to do anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not
just Destiny all the time, but
Yeah.
right now, still leveling up characters is a great way to get stuff done while doing our podcast. Kardashian.
is what's his name again?
What are you talking about?
Cadmium.
Cadmium. That's what I was making a joke.
Okay.
Kardashian. Okay.
Is
yeah, he
Cadmium
is.
joining us?
He's smoking a cig because
Boy,
he's bad.
That's bad
He's
for you.
a bad person
Tisk.
because he is just a terrible person. But that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and start.
I like how close we are. We're sitting closer to our TV right now because we're going to immediately stream some gaming later. But we're really close to the TV.
Yeah,
right
it does
now.
make a difference.
Yeah.
Whenever I pull the chair up when I do my streams and I'm just sitting in my chair by myself, it's like a huge difference.
Yeah, like it feels like I can actually see now.
Yeah, it's crazy how much of a difference
I think
it
I
is.
need glasses, is what it is.
Well, I mean, like I said, I can tell a difference too. Like
Okay.
it feels more like you're looking at a display in a like at a like in a store where they have all the TVs.
yeah,
set up.
yeah, like it
And
looks
you're
like an actual TV now. Not you forget how nice it is when you sit way across the room.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool. I could see, like, I guess that's one advantage to PC gaming is you're always like that close
Yeah,
to the TV.
I wish we could get one. Maybe one day.
Oh yeah, that's the goal.
Because I really want to play like more RPG types, like Japanese games that are barely translated.
I'd like to support indie
yeah,
games more.
indie games like.
Okay, so I don't have a ton to talk about this week, but what I do have is a few things to talk about. So, let's see. Let me pull this up.
We're blasting off to space.
Okay. So, do you know what the singularity is?
No.
You don't know what singularity.
Well, I mean, you might have to explain it, and then I might know.
Okay, the
I don't.
singularity is the point in time in which human consciousness and developed AI, like AI, will surpass the human brain.
Okay.
Right? Because it already has in several capacities things like pattern recognition, storing memory and things of that nature. I mean, AI has already way surpassed us.
Yeah,
But-
anything that you can program into it, it'll be better at. Because
I just realized this is the first weapon you get in the game.
Huh.
Like the one I have, it's just a really upgraded version of that. Anyways, but yeah, singularity is the point in time in which they say the AI consciousness will surpass human consciousness.
Okay.
When do you think that is?
Like, what year?
Mm-hmm. Like how close do you think we are to that?
Well, I mean, they're already getting to the point to where they can predict things
Mm-hmm.
based off, pattern, like you said, but more so human pattern.
Okay.
And that is what I think is troubling because people
Okay.
are so, quote, unpredictable, air quotes.
Right.
We think we are, but we're not.
Well.
When a computer can pretty much tell what we're going to say or do next, like when it knows what we're going to do or say next after something, that's a little, sentient-y.
I don't know.
But also, I think that we're a good bit away from it being on its own.
Okay.
Because people still have to build the robot.
Mm-hmm.
If robots start building robots, and they start building intelligent robots, then we might be screwed.
I think I think you're going kind of down a Minority Report path in the sense of like people. You're saying you worry about people being charged for crimes that they haven't committed yet and things of that nature, like people using
No.
pattern recognition to prove things that
I wasn't going
yet.
towards crime. I was going.
So like a robot in your house that would be like you just come home and then it's like your oven opens up, it's like enchiladas, and you're like, man, I didn't even know I wanted enchiladas, but I really do, you know,
because
like,
it remembers that what you like and what you don't like.
yeah, it's just
what
like
your patterns
it's
are.
been 17 days, and usually 17 days after he eats this, he likes this. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
like stuff like that. Like
Hey.
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 No, you're fine. We were just talking about the singularity. So since I haven't given the answer yet, do you know what the singularity is?
Maybe, but probably not.
Making you guys look like fools. All right. The singularity is the point in time in which AI consciousness will surpass human consciousness, right?
Yeah.
So I was asking Chelsea Face what year she thought that would be, and so what year do you think that will happen?
Man, has it not already?
No, I mean
No.
it surpassed us. It surpassed us in certain things like pattern recognition.
Yeah.
Things that you can program.
definitely.
Things that you can program, but yeah, there's still things like walking and like
Oh, yeah.
speaking and just like really
Well,
simple things.
think about it. We
So
can.
basically, what?
Sorry, I mean, we can do this in video games. We can put the little balls on people and make them learn how to walk. Like make the program see how to walk. If we did that sort of with a robot.
Oh, they did that recently, like really recently, like in the past, I think 2 weeks. Google actually programmed this AI. They had these different
that.
models, and they didn't program anything into this AI. They just told it you have to get from point A to point B, and they had all these obstacles in the way. Mm-hmm. And it's like.
And the way they ran was just hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like the robot uprising is going to be a lot funnier than I thought. Because
Send me an invite to your fire team, or
oh yeah. Will do. Hold on, I'll do that
I'm
right.
gonna make myself visible real quick.
I'll do that real quick, like.
Real quick, like.
But yeah. So it was really interesting because, like I said, there was these 3 really robot. They were inside this.
Yeah, and models.
Yeah, 3 different models, and one of them like had no arms, and one of them was like a spider-looking thing, and you know there are all these different models, but they all were like you have to get from point A to point B, and there was like walls in the way, or there were gaps in the floor, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was just trial and error, and they tried the AI had to figure out for itself without being taught how to walk. The AI had to figure out how to walk on its own.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the data, it got kind of close to what we do. But if you look at it as like, if a person walked that way, it looks really silly. like for some reason, the robot's arms were in the air the entire time it ran, and it was just booking it with its arms just flailing around in the air. And yeah,
That's normal, right?
no, it's pretty funny though. Stuff like that just really fascinates me. The what's that?
Yeah, basic. What?
What's that one type of AI called that Google uses to put together memories or something like that? Like it memorizes things. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what it's called. I think it's called like Dreamweaver. Yeah, or no? Yes, Google Dreamweaver. I think that's what it's called.
Dreamweaver's an Adobe product.
Oh gosh, what is it called? It's like you can go to YouTube and watch it live. Like it's just constantly feeding this AI movies, and there's like an overlay of the AI trying to like compare it to all these other things. And people say it's like being on LSD or stuff, like they compare it to being on LSD, but it's this AI, and it's just like you might be watching Avatar or something but then there's like this overlay of it, like there'll be like a creature on screen, but then you'll see like some puppies over here. And it's the AI literally being like, is this a puppy? Let me compare it. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's constant, and it's all, the whole movie's like just fluctuating, and it's just weird and trippy.
Yeah.
And
I'll have to check that out. That sounds really
I know
cool.
you both know what I'm talking about, because it was like big news about 10 months ago, but I just cannot remember what it's called.
But back to your original question, basically you're asking, when do I think AI is going to be able to pass the Turing test?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I honestly have no idea, because I mean,
Ryan's
I think
here.
that's something- Yeah, I know. He kept joining my fire team, and I kept.
I'll
trying to figure out
invite
if he
him.
kept joining.
I'm gonna invite him to
Okay.
the party.
I just hope he doesn't say anything stupid.
Yeah. All right.
But I feel like a lot of the technological marvels that we've come across in the past 20, 30 years probably seemed impossible to people at that point as well.
Right.
So, who knows
What?
if in the
What the
next
heck?
10 years. that
Okay,
we
before
might
you
be
say
at
anything,
singularity.
Ryan, we're doing a podcast right now, and you can be part of the podcast. I have no problem with that. But it's something we've been doing for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, and
We're just letting you know.
we're just letting you know so you don't go on here and say something stupid that you don't want to be spread
Oh.
across the internet or whatever.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are not really playing this?
No,
Yeah.
we are, but we're just
are.
I'm a little confused. Just
we
We're
are.
doing just like we're just running flashpoint stuff basically.
on.
Yeah, we get together and sometimes we play Destiny, sometimes we do other games, but
We're doing a mindless thing so we can discuss things.
yeah, we're right now we're discussing the singularity.
Uh-huh.
And I can hear an echo on your TV.
That's not my TV.
I hear
Oh.
it
It's not
somewhere.
mine. I have mine playing through my headphones.
Yeah, I'm
Not
playing with my
mine.
headphones as well.
That's weird.
That is weird. I don't hear an echo.
Spoopy.
But, I mean,
Friday the 13th.
Well, I didn't hear it until Ryan joined.
Oh, Ryan.
Wow, it's my fault, even though I have my headphones on.
No, I don't know what it is.
It's okay.
I'm not really that super concerned about it.
Yeah.
But
Anyways, let's get back to topic.
like so the answer, drumroll, it's 2045.
Oh, they've given a number.
Yeah, well, that's what scientists predict it's going to be. But I actually think it's going to be sooner
yeah, and I
Okay.
was about to say I could see that as well though.
because technology advances exponentially. Like every year, it gets faster. So, I mean, it's becoming a real problem in the workforce if you work with computers all the time because you go into college and you're working with these programs, and by the time you leave a 4-year college, you're on a whole new bunch of programs. Like
Yeah.
what you've learned is irrelevant. Okay, I'm going to Artifacts Edge, by the way.
Okay, I'll be there in a second.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, I learned in community college, I learned, like, Adobe products like CS3.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got to, like, a university, we were doing CS6.
Okay.
Which it's pretty much the same thing, but way, like, upgraded.
Do you think that's
and
because it didn't exist yet, or do you think it's because of
they,
money?
They wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now they're on a whole different thing, but, I mean, that's what YouTube and Google are for, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
To teach
you're right.
yourself.
Well, I mean,
But then
YouTube
what's
and Google
college
are
for?
the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, college, at least for art, it's to learn how to think, not to learn how to use the program. Because
Yeah.
any idiot
Well,
could get
that's
on
a lot
Google
of-
and learn how to use Adobe Photoshop.
That's
But
what a lot
not
of people don't
any
understand about
idiot.
education.
Could design something.
I'm sorry, what, Gavin?
Yeah.
Gavin,
So that's what a lot of people don't understand about education is you're not always learning about like just a specific topic. You're also learning how to critically think and how to
Yeah.
get problem solve.
You're not
It's
really
just-
learning a skill, you're learning a thought process.
Yeah. And I mean, that goes for even high school, elementary school. I just think too many people don't view it that way, and education lacks because of it.
Well, I mean, Chelsea worked at a newspaper for a long time, and people didn't look at her like, oh, she understands design and she understands how the human eye goes across the paper, like how to make a design that flows or is enjoyable to look at. It was more like, oh, she knows how to
use the program.
So put a Christmas tree right here. You know, like it.
Yeah.
That's literally all I was. And then we got a new guy to take my place, and he did not know how to design. He knew how to use the program. So they were like, they didn't understand why his didn't look like mine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't really explain that. I was trained to naturally think that way.
Mm-hmm.
And know, I mean, because people would give you like 10 pages worth of info they wanted on a business card size ad. So you would have to figure out how to do that and make it look readable.
Right.
And that just, I mean, I'm not perfect at it, but it takes skill to know how to do that. And and that's what you learn, is you learn how to apply space and white space and like all these little things like font choices and you know the way that the thickened lines and the way the words are, the kerning and the leading, all the little things that actually matter that people don't think about. And when I was training him before I left, he was making such little mistakes, like words touching pictures, like little stuff like that. And I was just like, like that just seems like common sense to me. And I wasn't mean to him about it. Like, I was like, okay, maybe he never went to school. He just knew how to use the program.
Poor child.
But he was a little cocky about it because he knew how to use the program and he didn't have to spend $15,000 like I did.
All right.
Yeah.
But I know that my $15,000 was actually worth a damn because I knew how to do it.
Yeah, no, I get you there. Speaking of graphic design, if you guys ever want a good laugh, go to the group Graphic Design is My Passion.
I think you have to be invited, though.
Oh, God. If you guys want an invite, I'll invite you because
it's hilarious.
It's so funny. Oh, great.
It's a bunch of graphic designers who get together and just show each other the shittiest
They just shit on other people's designs, but but it's really bad stuff.
It's really fun because you'll start noticing things when you go out in public, like signs that people make, and you'll take pictures of it and send it to the group.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, it's so fun to participate in. And it sounds like we're being snooty and like we're making fun of people, but we're not. It's really clean fun. Nobody gets hurt. It's all about like...
It's not like you're doing a witch hunt back to the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to go find the person and like harass them. But I've shared stuff like local people.
Oh, there's a sign in our town that's like... Gavin, do you remember the Acme sign that has the Coyote and Roadrunner on it?
Yeah.
We've shared that and been like... copyright infringement is my passion.
That's so true, though. That's a good one.
Oh yeah. So, Singularity's coming up. A lot of people were freaked out because Elon Musk said some things about the end of the world or whatever, and from an AI uprising. Which, in my opinion, I don't think the end of the world's going to be AI related. That's just my. It's not that it's not possible. I just feel like there's so many other hurdles of the end of the world.
I agree with you on that, but I do agree with Elon Musk that we need to have like regulation on AI soon before it becomes something that we can't regulate anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
it turns into iRobot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't know what those regulations need to be. I'm not someone that has even really put that much thought into that.
Don't kill humans. You can't kill a human. What was RoboCop's rules? Can you remember what the rules were for him?
Oh, no, not at all.
Ryan, do you remember? Ryan? No? Okay.
No, I don't. I've only seen it once, and it was forever ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember when RoboCop shot that guy in the... That
happened?
That was pretty good. Yeah, it happened.
Damn.
It's pretty good. It's like the only good thing. Well, no, there's a few good things. The second one was way better than the first one, in my opinion.
That doesn't really sound like shooting someone in the dick. I don't think that's a really.
But he deserved it.
But he deserves. But okay. So here's.
I imagine that shooting someone in the dick would make you feel really
I think
good.
he was gonna like take advantage of this girl or something. He was committing some sort of crime.
Well, here's my question though: how does an AI decide whenever someone does deserve it? Like
It'd be just like the self-driving cars. You have to program it in
like,
there.
how did-
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. Well, how does it like when a car has to decide? Do I run
Do
into
I-
the wall and kill my driver, or do I run into these 5 people?
It
Save
depends
my
on it depends on what you're going to be hitting. Like, is it one person versus 6 people? Is it one person versus a dog?
There's a test.
And should the AI in the car prioritize the driver over other people's safety?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it like if it's
There-
1 versus 1, who's it going to pick?
My boss showed me this website where they're programming it. They're programming cars right now. You can go to this website and help program it, because what they're doing is they're taking a survey. Like, people are able. They're putting together all these scenarios, right? It's like a car pulls up here. This person, there's a woman in the car and 2 men on the street. Who should die, right? And so you and you answer it, right? And what they're doing is they have really no involvement other than setting up this test. The test is being taken, and people are voting on who should live and who should die. And then supposedly that information, what people feed into that, is going to be put into the car itself, like whenever it's a self-driving machine.
I feel like if Reddit or 4chan got a hold of that, though, it would be really bad.
There's no like good or bad answer, though. It's always like,
I don't know. There were dogs on that questionnaire. If you favored the dogs
there
every
was
time,
dogs, but that's a human choice. Like, you can say there's some people in the world that are like
Gonna
animal
kill
lives,
themselves over a
animal
dog.
lives are more important than people lives.
I think they might swerve, but I don't think they would choose to kill themselves over a dog.
I don't know.
People love themselves way too damn much.
Yeah, themselves, but they never see themselves in that questionnaire. They see other people.
I don't know.
Right.
I think that if some trolls got a hold of it real well, they could screw that up real easy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Is just like trolls would take over.
It would be fun,
like,
though.
just like with the Twitter bot, you know.
Oh, the Tay.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just about to bring up Tay.
Or
actually.
naming the ship or
Oh
something.
yeah, Bodie McBoatface. But that wasn't really AI. That was just
But still, that's what I mean.
messed up survey.
But still, like,
Hey,
it's the same
where'd you
idea.
guys go?
Yeah. Exodus
Oh, I
Black.
went to Exodus Black.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Jubei and I both went here.
Exodus Black. That sounds like some
Exodus
like,
Black. It sounds like an animu.
or it sounds like some like edgelord
Exodus
band
Black.
or something.
Yeah.
My
It's like-
favorite.
We wanted to do death metal, but we weren't hard enough, so we just went with injured metal.
Crippled metal.
Crippled metal.
God.
Aw.
My favorite.
Has anyone and speaking of technology and stuff like that,
I don't believe in it. I don't believe.
you
all
don't
that
believe in
witchcraft.
technology?
You don't.
No, I don't believe in all
You
that
don't believe
witchcraft.
it. Wait, you don't believe it exists, or you don't
No.
believe in using it?
Either one.
And you're playing a PlayStation 4.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
This is.
I'm imagining this.
I'm dreaming right now.
Okay. Okay.
I've been asleep since 6, so I don't.
Since
Okay.
you were 6 years old, that's impressive.
Maybe.
So like, that could be true. We could all be part of Ryan's imagination,
Simulation.
and we're just.
I've always enjoyed
Isn't that scary? That scares me a little bit. You know.
I enjoy
What?
It does,
flirting
I understand.
with the idea
Like
that
about-
we're all a sim game.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that still scares me though, because like it's like, what if I just woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 6 years old, living, you know.
With all that knowledge, like, would it change how
Yeah.
you did things, or
Oh
would it?
yeah.
think it would?
Of course
I
it would,
constantly have
yeah.
this power
Yeah.
fantasy.
But
I constantly have this power
but if
fantasy
you
where I-
changed, but if you changed anything, it would make it not be where you are now. Like,
Yeah, but like, I would go back and I would rule high school. Like, think
Exactly.
about how
You
much
know-
you don't give
it
a
doesn't
shit
matter.
about high school now. You're like, this ain't
Yeah,
important. I don't care.
I would know to take more care of my hair.
Our friend is apparently uncomfortable with his hair.
I'm not uncomfortable with it. I just like to make fun of myself.
But the point I was getting to was we're talking about technology and the future of technology, but now I want to talk a little bit about the current state of technology, because I think some things have just gotten a little too far, in my opinion. I think there should be some sort of rule and state for... I mean, but you can't control the internet, and that's kind of the catch-22, because I wish there was some way where if you were famous, right, there was some, not even famous, but just like a little famous, not like Tom Cruise or, you know, whatever, you could somehow protect your just
Genitals.
information that you don't want on the internet, you know? Because the other day I was watching
I can't attack this thing, by the way.
yeah, me neither. It's just kind of sitting there.
I think we have to destroy something to get rid of the...
Yeah, but it's not popping up for me at all.
It's not on mine either.
Oh, there. No. Cool. Let's go to another one, I guess.
Well, hold
What
on.
were you saying?
Hold on.
Yeah, what were we saying?
I was saying I was watching Louie, that show by Louis C.K. And I was watching. I was like, oh, he's got 2 cute daughters in this show, da da da. And I was like, but that's probably not his actual daughters, though. And so I was like, I wonder what his daughters actually look like. And I looked up Louis
You can just look
C.K.
it up.
daughters. Huh?
I said, yeah, and you can just look it up.
Yeah, and I looked up, like, Louis C.K. daughter, because I was curious what his actual daughters looked like. And it wasn't, like, school pictures or anything. It was, like, him holding her hand on a sidewalk. Someone, like, snapped a picture of, like, as they were
Yeah.
about to cross the road.
So
And
invasive.
I was like, I just feel dirty now. I don't like this at all.
Yeah. Like you're part of the problem, kind of.
Oh, I'm totally part of the problem all the time, and I hate it.
Well, you
Because I
don't-
need to make a living, but my job sometimes has just made me feel so icky lately. Like, since we've started with the digital advertising.
Yeah.
Because, no, I work at a radio station, but lately we've tried, they've also been teaming up with a digital advertising company to try to make more money. And I have to go to these meetings every week where they explain like the benefits of digital advertising and stuff. And it's so creepy. It's just like, we can look on their phone and see what apps they have, and then based off of those apps, create a profile about them, and then give them the ads that they're going to buy them, or most likely to spend their money on, you know? And, and it's so creepy. And then they're like, oh, whenever they click on this email, we can follow their IP address of their phone and see how many people opened up this email, and then follow them into the business that the email was advertising. So if there's like a car lot, and it's like you get an email for this car sale or whatever, and I'm like, ugh, I want to vomit. Like,
Well, see, I was talking, or I usually bring this up with Sarah, that I hate being advertised to, and I especially hate being advertised to by like a robot or a computer, where it's just like
You're an
it's
algorithm?
suggesting things. Yeah, it's like that's telling me, hey, you like this, and I'm like, no, stop doing that. I don't want this. But she usually says that she likes it because it learns from her and it gives her new stuff. But I don't like that. I like to discover things on my own. I don't want to think that what I like is just being controlled by some algorithm that's showing me more stuff that I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like they're not even trying to hide that they're breaking the law.
well, it's not breaking the law.
Yeah, it is.
Not anymore. The reason that it's able to do that is because
Well, they were doing it even before. Like, it was obvious that they were doing it. It wasn't even this just so happened to pop up. It's immediate. Literally, I would go to Amazon, type in a couple of things, immediately go to Facebook, and there it is on the sidebar.
Yeah, but
like
that's
within
not
a
illegal.
second. It used to be, and it would still be there.
I would debate you on that, but I don't have the
guarantee you
research
that's
in
not
front of me.
legal. I guarantee you that wasn't legal.
Okay. I just disagree with you. Like, I'm not.
remember a time
You
when
have
it
the
was
right to
illegal.
that opinion. I was just saying I just disagree with you. But I mean, that's what we do on podcasts, right? We debate on stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, just don't. I'm not mad.
I know. What are you getting at?
I don't know. You got all flustered for a
No,
second.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
Lord.
going to Artifact's Edge.
Artifacts Edge. Okay.
Yeah.
Artifacts Edge. Which one's?
But yeah, I don't know. I feel weird about being advertised to a lot. I don't know. I like to just find the things I like organically. And I don't know. Maybe
Organic.
advertising is part of that organic process now. Like maybe that's just something that we have to deal with. But
I understand what you're saying, and I'm a bit on both. Like, I'm a bit on the fence about it because, like, yeah, I do like. I have seen advertisements before I've gotten, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. It's like this new thing, but it's to do with this subject that I enjoy. So like maybe it's like a new martial arts movie came out or something, and it's like showing me that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll go see that, or something. But at the same time, I agree with you. I don't really have a problem with, like, I search something on Amazon and now I'm getting ads for it on this other site. I've just come to accept that that's kind of how the internet works now. I get upset whenever I'm tracked. Like, my physical location.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I'm
Yeah,
not just an anonymous
that.
thing on the internet. When you're no longer anonymous, like, when you were now, like, a profile on someone's computer. Like, on some server somewhere, you're now, like... like you said, an algorithm. Like that's that's when I get kind of upset.
Well, and see, I find myself like torn on that because I feel like the internet is great because we have an anonymity and we don't have to worry about people tracking us down most of the time.
Right.
But I think it's bad for the same exact reason because people will just say whatever, and a lot of people will rally around a cause that probably shouldn't be rallied around, but no one's going to know it's them because of the internet. And, if we had a more tracking system of, this is who you are, your online presence is you, I feel like people would be less likely to form those fringe groups of hate or, and stuff like that.
Right. Well, it's kind of like...
I don't know if that's worth giving up the freedom.
Yeah, because a group mentality is bad enough, but an anonymous group mentality... That's pretty bad.
And you don't even know how many people are literally in that group because, it's online. So maybe there's people who are, not posting and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
That
Well,
makes the group feel even
it's
bigger.
kind of like onion routing, right? Like, onion routing is something that the CIA came up with. Like, it is a government-created program. Or, like, this idea. But the way they do that is by allowing, like, okay, so you're this anonymous being on the internet now because you're onion routing. And through onion routing, you can do some really messed up stuff by, just being super anonymous and untrackable. And you can do, like, you can order hitman services and you can look up, like, child pornography and, like, all this really messed up stuff. But, I will say that like, the CIA did that because they wanted to be anonymous, and they can't be anonymous on the internet if there's no one else using onion routing except for the CIA. So it's kind of a catch-22 because they can only be anonymous by including anyone who wants to be on an onion router. If they subjected it to only certain people, then it wouldn't be anonymous anymore.
You have to lead a predator into the area where you can attack it.
But you can't really... But their own program...
But yeah, you can't make them do it.
Right. But I'm saying, like... But even on that onion route, it's not like a predator can join it and then they're like, oh, we got you because you joined this thing.
Yeah, you have to literally catch them...
in the act.
Yeah, and that's almost impossible.
Right. It's just so interesting that, like, one of the services that is used the most to commit crimes online is actually created by the government.
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, these are the thoughts that have been going through my head. Anybody else got anything worth bringing up?
There's one thing I was wanting to talk about a little bit. It's a little bit less heavy than what we've been talking about.
Sure, let's lighten it up.
Good.
So Funhouse recently on their blog, this is one of the topics I saw them they were going to talk about and they never got to it. So I thought it'd be nice for us to talk about it. Battlefield 2's loot boxes.
Oh,
You mean Battlefield 2?
Battlefront?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Battlefront 2.
Battlefront.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Battlefront 2's loot boxes.
Yeah.
How do you think we got to this situation? And do you think they might reverse it by the time the game comes, or is this going to be the full package that we get at this point?
I don't feel like it's going to be reversed, and the reason I say that is because I feel like Battlefield 1 was a testing, was a test to see how far they could push it, and because I mean. That whole game, there was no real progression in that game. It was just all about just getting, lucky with a drop no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't what I'm talking about. But
What are you talking?
I don't know. I'm losing my mind. I'm trying to concentrate on multiple things, and it's not working out in my favor. And I also, and I'm drunk. No, I'm just kidding. But, these types of things have been tested for a really long time. Loot boxes have just become more and more invasive.
Yeah.
And, one of the most beloved games of this console generation is just entirely based on loot boxes. The only catch is those loot boxes are all aesthetic, right?
Guys,
talking about...
he's still falling. He's at 1,000 meters.
And, I'm talking about Overwatch, of course.
Yeah.
But see, I think Overwatch does it well because it's all vanity. You don't need the loot boxes to play. Whereas for Battlefront 2, if you went in and paid $60 for a whole bunch of loot boxes, you are objectively going to do better than the person who just started along with you but didn't pay any money.
I think Battlefront 2 is just really jumping the gun on this. What I'm hoping will happen, because Battlefront 1, it seems really weird. It seems like they would make this move on a game that's beloved, right? I would not call the Battlefront franchise beloved. I would say the old ones, like the PS2 versions, were, but the new one, I would.
They ruined Battlefront when they released it, the first new one.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
And I would expect this type of ballsy move to be done on some game that they're like, oh, we know you're gonna play this, but the Battlefront 1.
I mean, but a lot of people are still gonna play it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna pick it up, which sucks.
I think it's going to be a failure. I
hope it is, but I mean, technically the second one is a failure, but it did make them money. Enough people initially bought it because they like Star Wars and they wanted to.
Well, what they messed up with is they told people about the loot boxes.
Well, I mean, reviewers were going to get their copies and stuff. It was going to get out.
We all found out when the beta came out. They didn't even tell us.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I'm sure it'll sell enough to pay for the game. There's going to be the diehard fans who are rich and they don't care. But I don't think it's going to do very well because the average person who is going to go buy the game isn't going to have an extra $400 or would even want to spend that money on it. They want to play the game. They don't want to just pay to win it.
Where are you guys at?
That's no fun. Who would want to buy a $60 to $80 game and then another $100 just to finish it in a day?
Mm-hmm.
Who would want to do that?
And also, I played the beta. It was kind of boring. It's just not very fast paced at all.
Yeah, that's my problem with the first game.
I didn't really enjoy it, and I fucking love Star Wars. You know that.
Really, that's the only reason I could think that they did this whole ballsy move is because there's a lot of people like you. And I'm not saying you're going to go out and buy it, but there's a lot of people out there who just love Star Wars, right? And unlike you, they're going to buy whatever has we're talking about people who have the Han Solo doll from 64 limited edition with Kung Fu grip. You know, like they
Do you know
own
when Star Wars
everything.
came out 1964. I don't want to hear that come out of your mouth again.
I mean, he got you, man.
No, he did. He got me real good. That he
I
got
don't
me.
know what year it came out, but I'm sure it wasn't.
1977.
77, yeah.
All right,
All
Gavin.
right, so,
I'm just messing. I'm sorry.
oh gosh,
No, but,
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
and I want to get this game because for one, it does have a single player mode, which is nice. And it's canon for the Star Wars. I'll probably get it when it's like $20, but I'm not buying it on release. I'll watch a Let's Player play through the story, and then I'll get everything that I want from the game right there.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's going to be what
I hate
most
to say
people
that,
probably
but-
do.
Where are we going?
But, you know,
I've
I
lost
think-
you guys.
I'm with
We're
Gavin.
still here. Yeah,
I don't know where
we're still
here
at
is.
Artifact Edge. We're still at Artifact,
Artifact
Edge.
Edge. We never left because you just kind of disappeared and never said where you were going.
Oh,
Yeah.
well. Sorry.
But no, I think Disney really messed up by giving EA a 10-year contract for all Star Wars games. I think they should have reached
yeah.
out the property to individual companies that like, oh hey, we have an idea for this game. Okay, yeah, that's a good game idea. You know, you can use that game, you know, with our property instead of it just being, oh, you're EA, so you get to make our games for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I don't.
What
The first one
Oh
we
my gosh.
put all our
You
eggs
just
in that
trapped me in a
basket.
box. Oh
see
man, I cannot believe that just happened.
What is this?
I watched that happen.
I
But
don't
I don't think that it's gonna work just because of the money. Like it's so expensive just to do that. And if they just did, you know, like aesthetic items, then yeah, people would eat that shit up. Like they'd be
yeah.
like, oh, I
If it
want the
were just
costume from the
aesthetics-
first movie, or I want this weapon, or like this
And
look.
then like level ups gave you the weapons. That's
Yeah.
perfectly normal.
A lot of people
I'll be
were
right
up in
back.
arms about Destiny's loot box system, the bright engrams that you can buy. When I first heard about it, I was upset because of the fact that you could like get mods for your gun through bright engrams.
Yeah,
but now
but,
that I've
I
played
mean-
it, it's like I'm so full of freaking weapon mods all the time. It's not like
I have to put them in the vault just to have room.
yeah, exactly. So like it's really not that big of a deal. And
And you can't really buy individual things that you want. It's just kind of like a crapshoot.
right. And I mean, I don't know. I think it's a nice way to like I think Destiny's model of doing things is fine because they have like, okay, you want to throw us some money, here's some bright engrams, you might get some additional aesthetic goodies.
Now,
And then-
the only problem I do have with loot boxes is the fact that if Tess Eververse sells it, you know you're not getting it from any other type of activity. Like ghosts, sparrows, most good shaders, you're
Yeah.
only getting them from her.
Yeah,
There's no activity you can do to get them, and that's kind of disappointing.
I do
but,
miss
mean,
raid shaders and things like that,
Yes.
like
well,
raid nightfalls.
Okay, we do get the raid shader still though.
Do we?
Yeah, there's a Calluses selected. You should have.
Oh yeah,
that.
I do have that. You're right.
And that's a good one. But there's no specific ghosts. There's no specific sparrows. Like it all comes from her, and I'm not like it's not a deal breaker for me. It's just like, oh man, that kind of sucks.
But I like their system because it's like you could literally buy this game for $60. Like what you're paying for is what you get. Like you pay $60, you get the game. They have a DLC that comes out that expands the game further, and it's like 20 or 15 depending on if you buy it individually or in a season pass. But after that, it's like you're paying $15 and you get this. You're paying $15 and you get that. You know, like it's very straightforward. You know what you're gonna get.
And if you want to
Maybe
spend
they
a
got
little
pulls
extra
in the
cash,
store.
you can.
Yeah. If you want to throw them an extra bone, you can.
But they're constantly working on
this.
this game, so I don't have a problem with giving someone an extra few bucks here or there.
Right.
And especially because most of the loot box money, at least in Destiny 1, it went towards like the live team, which was what we got all.
I'm
those
going to
quality of life
pools.
changes from.
I'm going to
Yeah,
pools
that's
of
where I'm at.
luminous. Okay. But yeah,
yeah,
like
so
it blows my mind when people like, oh my god, Destiny has the whiniest Reddit like subreddit
Yes.
in
Oh
existence.
my god, it's hard for me to read it half the time.
Like, why are you so whiny? Like, stop
Why do you play
whining.
the game? They hate it. They
Yeah,
hate
exactly.
it more
Everyone
than
there
anyone
hates
I've
it.
met.
I don't understand, like, why
Like,
these
I'm not
people
gonna
are so
defend Destiny
whiny.
and say it's the best game in the world, because it's not. But I mean, I play it and I enjoy it. I'm not gonna bitch about a game that I spend a lot of time playing.
But, like, yeah, people will sink 200 hours into it and then be like,
There's nothing to do.
that wasn't worth the 20, or that wasn't worth the $60. Like, what are you talking about? What are you doing right now? Like, this is insane. But yeah, I feel like every time we get on a podcast, we just end up jerking off Bungie. But, you know.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
have.
but they are not perfect by any means.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've
That
got
has its
qualms
flaws.
with the company myself, but this game I feel like was just like somebody's baby.
I don't feel like they're sneaking stuff around on me. And with other games, I feel like I'm being sneaked on. Like the whole Battlefront. It's like,
Yeah, that game feels
wasn't-
like money,
that
money,
game
money,
wasn't-
money, money.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we have all these pre-existing properties. We have to make them in a 3D format. We have to make these, worlds, but the worlds already exist. The characters already exist. You have like the different class of stormtroopers to make people go, oh, that's a death trooper, and that's a stormtrooper, and that's a snow stormtrooper. Like they're all there. People are just gonna buy it from just recognition of what's on the screen, and then on top of that, they do like a really shifty, shady, like money making tactic, right? Whereas like I feel like with Destiny, like I said, it's not the perfect game. But it's like there's all this artistic value that goes into it. They made all these worlds from scratch. They made a story that didn't exist before. And it's not a perfect story. Story's probably one of the worst parts of it. But that being said, it
But
doesn't
it's
exist
an
from...
MMO.
Yeah, that being said, it doesn't exist from a pre-existing thing.
Yeah, all MMOs have kind of a weird, loose story like this, so it kind of makes sense.
And,
Well,
and
because
I'm...
most of the time, you're the one, but there's millions of us being the one
Yeah.
at the same time.
Well, that's kind of how this game was. Destiny 2 was really bad about that. Destiny 1 wasn't as
Oh, yeah,
much.
no, that's what I'm saying.
But Destiny 2 was really bad
Well,
about,
that's the
like, you're
point,
the
though.
only one. It's like, well, what are these other fucking people doing?
But that's the point, though, is like it's trying to give you a story, but also like not put you by yourself.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to deal with it, but it doesn't really hinder the game at all. So I don't really see what the problem is, unless you just really have to pretend to enjoy anything. Like you have to be in there completely.
Yeah.
That seems a little childish
But-
to me for that to be people's problem.
Well, what I was saying
most people
earlier
don't
is
really-
like... What I was saying earlier is like, the fact that you pay $60 and then you have access to a game that's constantly being worked on. And that, like, with rotating activities, and the world is changing and evolving all the time. There's always this new stuff. Week to week, you can read the Bungie feed.
There's an
and they'll
update
be like,
every couple
oh, there's
weeks.
an update. Any money. Like, it's just you pay the $60 and you have this service, which is crazy.
And then they do holiday things.
Yeah, and and they're constantly working on it. And like, there's other games like that. Like like the Final Fantasy 14, I think, is like that.
14 has a big following. I love Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
but you
14.
pay a monthly fee, which I'm not saying they don't deserve that monthly fee, but I'm saying that, this game doesn't do that, and it does the same thing. And people were like, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
not worth the
we're really
money.
lucky that they don't require a monthly fee because we couldn't play it.
Yeah.
Like, there's tons of people who just would drop off the platform just because they could not
Oh, yeah.
afford it. And I think it's really selfish of people and childish to sit there and say how much they don't say they love it, but they love it. They constantly play it. They obviously love it. And then to sit there and not want to pay for what little they have to pay for and then expect more content for free. It's just it's the American way of consuming shit.
What do you think about the Shadow of War microtransaction thing
Oh
going
my
on?
god, that's even worse than
I haven't heard about it.
somehow.
I've heard that it happened, but I don't know what it is. Explain
So
it to
apparently
me.
there's this other... I'm going to explain the best I can. There's this other mode where, like, you pretty much set up an army for other people. Like you don't actually play it. It's you just manage the battle.
Okay.
And through microtransactions, you can get better troops and stuff.
But is that important to the game at all?
You
Is that
can
just
get
a
better
side
drops.
mode?
Like if you beat other people, you get better drops.
But is that just like a side game?
Well, that side game translates into like you can get better drops that translate into the real game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't know. I'd have to see it, but it sounds like
I think it's pretty shitty. Because,
Yeah.
like, if you want the specific thing, right, and you grind your ass off, but you can never beat this other person because they paid more money than you, that is a broken game. You know what I mean? Like, that's broken. It
they'll
doesn't.
figure it out. Like the people, they made such a killer game the first time. I don't understand why you would mess that up. Like why you would go that far. Maybe to put your tippy toes in the water and do like a couple of things like aesthetic
Well,
items.
that's what they're doing, though.
No, they're not. It sounds like they're diving in. Like you can.
Well, no, this is them dipping their toe in. Like,
Because it's not like you can straight up buy a sword that goes to that you get in the single player campaign, but you can buy troops which can then win battles, which can then get you a better weapon.
That
That
still
you can
sounds
use
pretty
in
direct, though. That doesn't sound like sticking your toes in.
Yeah, I think it was meant to be sneaky, but most people see
Like
through it.
you can do it. Like Destiny, I think is doing an okay job with sticking their toes in. I think that if they go further, people will. I mean, they kind of flipped out this time, but they were also like,
Yeah, but they
I
already-
kind of get it. I kind of get that this
Oh,
isn't
it's just scary
important
because
to
you
the
really
game.
enjoy the thing and you don't want it to be ruined by people pay the most money, pay to win. Like pay to win's the worst thing
Yeah,
to ever happen to
it
gaming.
would make it to where you would stay on this version instead of the new game.
Pay to win's the second worst thing to ever happen to gaming. The worst thing is ET for the Atari.
I don't know. I never
what?
played it.
Oh,
I'm not going to judge it.
Atari.
I'm not going to judge it until I play it. So I don't believe it.
It's bad, Chelsea.
I mean,
It's
I've
really
seen
bad.
it. I've seen it, but I hadn't played it, so I may enjoy
It
it.
nearly
It's
killed the
bad.
industry.
I know. I've seen the
Yeah.
documentary. I still
Like,
want to
it's
play
not
it.
even
Though.
just bad for like, oh man, it's been so long. No, it's bad for that time period.
Yeah, it's really funny. There's a whole documentary on Netflix about them going to the actual dig site, and it's the only documentary I've ever seen where they're like, "Oh, it's been there's been myths about this thing being here," and then it was actually there.
I know.
Like,
and for so long, I didn't know if it was actually there or not. I was so glad to finally have that confirmed.
yeah, but like most documentaries you watch, it's like back before the giant squid was actually found, they were like, we're on the
Yeah.
search for the giant squid, and then you'd watch the documentary for like an hour and a half, and then they'd be like, oh well, we didn't find it.
Right.
Or like those freaking Finding Sasquatch shows, and they're like, do you really think they found Sasquatch?
They're not
Do you
trying
really-
to. They're
you-
not trying to.
I know, but like some people, what I'm saying is like, do you really think that like you would hear about it on this show? It wouldn't be like global news, but they had time to
Right.
cut, produce, and edit this show.
It's that suspended belief.
All right.
When people watch that, they don't actually think they're going to find it. It's just
Well,
fun to
that's a
watch
slap.
these people act like idiots.
Naked and afraid.
Yeah, it's just a spectacle of it.
Gosh.
Just like what are those wives shows? You know, nobody.
Housewives.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about
Watchers.
those people.
Watcher's Grave is where I'm going.
They just
Watch
like
your
the
grave, oh, God.
spectacle.
Yeah, I get you. Oh man. Well, it's anybody got any plans for Halloween?
No.
No, not at all. I have a party I have to plan.
No friends.
I'm gonna go to work.
You gonna go to work?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be spoopy for you
Well-
though. All those peanuts.
We'll be
those
working
peanuts.
on Halloween probably too, but we're having a party at the studio.
We're having this party at the studio the Thursday before Halloween.
I hope somebody shows up.
And then we're not going to have class on Halloween because it's a Tuesday, and I don't want I don't want to.
They're not gonna come.
Yeah, no one's going to be there. Like, I'm not going to force people to be there on Halloween.
Mhm.
That'd be stupid.
That makes sense. I'd come if I could.
Well, I appreciate
So I was
that.
gonna say I was gonna say I'd go.
No, Ryan, I already said I would go. You can't say that.
That's why I said I was going to say it.
I guess.
but then he didn't say it.
I didn't say it because someone interrupted me.
That's right. So rude. How rude. That was
That's
a
an original catchphrase.
It is.
I've never heard that before.
like fake news. So original. Have you heard? Have you seen that clip of him saying that he came up with those words?
Yeah, I posted that on Facebook a couple days ago. I
Oh.
just could not believe that he said that he came up with the term fake. Because I read that, I was like, he didn't say that. Like every time I read something that Trump said, I'm like, he didn't really say. He didn't say it that way. He said it. Oh my God, he said it. Like,
He said
oh
it
my
exactly how they said he said it.
God. And
yeah,
it always
it's-
surprises me, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, we got to get our ragging on Trump in every episode.
Fuck Donald Trump.
I don't.
I can't say those words enough. Fuck Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
His
It's kind of
loose
interesting because
man
I have to
pussy.
go. I work in the public side, and you cannot have strong. You have to learn to like digest
Yeah.
those opinions when
I understand, man.
I'm sure you do.
Oh, I
Yeah,
do too.
Oh,
be
and we
at
don't?
all in school.
Huh?
And we don't.
Oh no. Well, I mean.
Joke.
But like, it's so hard sometimes because it's like you want to be like, you want to just open the mic and be like, "Can you believe that our president said this?
What a dumb motherfucker.
What an idiot!" Like, but you can't because people will get offended.
Everyone
and
around
they'll-
here loves him, so we can't say that.
one of our DJs had to apologize the other day because he said he didn't care one way or the other about the kneeling thing, and apparently not having an opinion
It's even worse.
is even
Yeah,
worse
it's just,
than like. And so he had to go on the air and apologize about not caring about the kneeling thing, and I'm like, that's so
so dumb.
stupid. That's so.
I'm
dumb.
sorry, but you can't. I don't know. I wouldn't have said it to begin with, but
that
depending
doesn't
on,
make sense.
I wouldn't
I mean, don't you have free
apologize.
speech?
No,
And
no,
that-
not if you're
No,
a
not on the
celebrity.
What?
Which,
If you're under a company, you can't.
well, it's not even the company. It's just like the Golden Globes when what's her face?
Yeah.
She had her speech against Trump, and everyone was like, just do your job. Like you're not allowed to have an opinion. Like
It's so weird.
when you have a certain job. Like I don't think that we're celebrities, but people see us. Not like, oh my God, it's JB or Big John or whatever. But
Wait,
in the
voice
sense of
gets
like
out
they
to-
think that we're kind of big shots, which we're totally not. And we get the same kind of like, just do your job. We don't want to hear about what you think, type of thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's a hard not life. Anyways,
Yeah.
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
think we're out of time, aren't we?
no, it's okay. You can get your 2 cents in.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm lucky because I do live in a red state, but I live in a very liberal city. So that helps out with...
I
Yeah.
live like 2 blocks away from a liberal arts college, so that helps. Like usually
Every
people
day, though, I see a
it's-
Trump bumper sticker.
Yeah, but it's very divided from age, like
Oh, yeah.
it's just like if you're this young, you're probably left leaning, and if you're this old, you're
Obviously
You're
not.
obviously not, yeah.
There's no old people who are like cool about it.
yeah.
None. Like there is not a single person over the age of 30 who is liberal here.
And not
It's
one
not
that,
that
I don't know.
usually
Maybe the
me.
teachers.
Yeah, the teachers.
Okay, yeah,
You're right, the
teachers are
teachers.
Well, the school's different because they actually are brains and they have smarts. They actually
They
not
have
not.
brains.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people who are a little bit in the middle actually went to school and have education. People who are one side or the other, I feel like don't have any education. But that's just my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, because
I
they
think-
have no thoughts of their own.
I think it's interesting because there are studies that show that if you're that typically, and I'm not saying this to draw a conclusion. I'm just saying this as a fact that statistics has point out. Like when people take the census, if you are college educated, you typically are more left leaning, and if you're not, you're typically more right leaning. And I find that very interesting. Some people would argue that that means that the education system brainwashes people. It's not necessarily that you're smart, it's that you've been brainwashed to think this way.
That Fox News brainwashes people, though.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Knowing what education I went through, there was no brainwashing done whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly, though.
No,
If anything, they were trying
grew
to
up-
brainwash me the other way.
I grew up Jehovah's Witness. I know what brainwashing is, all right? But
Like, I had professors who were obviously Christian or who were obviously not, who would sit there and tell you what they believe, even though they're not supposed to. And,
Yeah.
you know, the way, I can't really explain it. It isn't going to make any sense, I guess.
No, I understand, though, because I never felt like I was being forced to have an opinion on one way or the other in any of my classes. I felt like they wanted me to come to a conclusion on a thought process based on either my own life experiences or just, you know, what I'm seeing in the class. I
Yeah.
felt like I was being led to a conclusion.
Right.
They teach you to
See,
fucking
me-
think.
that's critical thinking, right? That's thinking for
it's-
yourself.
It all loops back around.
And me, every time I got out of class, I always thought to myself, man, my brain feels washed.
It feels so
squeaky
squeaky clean.
Okay, I guess we should end on
Yeah,
that
we should
note.
probably end it now. We've been on. We're going a little bit over time, but that's okay. I mean, there's no like
Who's gonna
podcast
stop
police.
us?
Yeah, exactly. We can rule the world.
Woo, woo, woo.
But yeah, it's been fun. If you enjoy this, be sure to follow and like.
Follow
and
us and like us
do-
and subscribe.
Do
and
whatever the thing is.
touch our
on,
butts and-
on the platform that you are watching or listening this on. And then we'll be back next Friday. If you want to catch us live, we're always on Twitch.
Friday we won't.
Friday at 9.
Wait, are we going to be back by then?
But we should be. I
Okay,
think.
we'll probably be here next Friday.
But Fridays at 9 is when we do our thing. So thanks for watching, and we will see you guys around on the next one. Thank you, Gavin
Thank
and
you.
Ryan, for being on the podcast.
Thank you, guests.
Oh, thanks. I just accidentally somehow got in.
It's
That's
okay.
cool.
You're welcome to join us
Yeah,
anytime.
You are. We just kind of we kind of say whatever we want on here. Like we don't hold back as much as we do when we do other forms of video making. So it's kind of a
Okay.
separate thing, and that's kind of why we wanted to keep it kind of on the down low.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
So
I
don't.
said, I just kind of joined in.
that's
yeah,
okay.
no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't like.
But I can't wait to tell everyone about it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we will see you next one. Peace.
Bye, guys.